Hello guys, SlenderCJ. It's been a while. I haven't uploaded any videos in a few weeks, and the reason being is cause my grades slipped a bit. By a bit, I mean they dropped from an A to a lesser A. And I didn't like that at all. So I had to do some last minute extracurriculars to get my grades back up, and that pretty much is the reason why I haven't been able to do anything like record in a while. And this isn't my usual session of Fate Extra or even Mega Man that I, for some reason, have yet to go back to. But I wanted to try something new just to get back into the swing of things. And what I'm playing right now is called Dysfunctional Systems Episode 1, Learning to Manage Chaos. And what this game is, basically, you live in a world where you're able to travel interdimensionally, and each of these dimensions have a sort of problem, and your job is to fix that problem. And I play as the character Winter you see here, my mentor throughout these things. I can't really place his name right now, but we'll see. I have played this game already, so I pretty much know how to get to both of the endings. But in this quick run, we're gonna go for the winter ending where the world blows up. So let's get started. I'm not going to read every single dialogue box, but I will comment on what's happening. Alright, so right now we have, your stereotypical newscaster here telling us about some issues with Brington, which is great. Let's see, still talking. This is a visual novel, so there's gonna be a lot of text to read, so you guys can read that at your own pace. I'm just here to liven up the mood. Looks like Gabria and Britain are having some problems as usual. Hey look, it's President Barnaby. Barnaby is a 1980s song. I forgot what it was. It was in the movie WALL-E. Can't really remember the name of the song right now. There's a minimum wage increase in Brington. Apparently that's making people it's giving people mixed feelings. And there I am, Winter. I'll read Winter's parts just to give myself something to do. There are plenty of weird sightings around to do so too. Like for instance, these advanced looking television in this decrepit looking building, which I can only assume is an electronics store. The first thing I've seen since arriving in this world that actually looks somewhat new, fancy even. Up until now, everything has been old, ramshackle, and in various states of disrepair. Makes me feel very nervous. It's just so profoundly disturbing. Will I ever get used to this? I think that I will. Some year or decade from now, if my mentor is any indication. Look at him, standing there so aloof, as if there's just another day to him. Which, yeah, I suppose it is. Well, what do I do now? Nothing. Okay, so his name is Cyrus. How could I forget that? I hated Cyrus so much. If any of you followed my Incognito Quinn channel that I took down, where I did a few Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Academy videos, you know that I have a thing for Cyrus. I hate him so much. Anyways. Yes. Think about what? Well, Cyrus, there's not a lot to go on, it's just a news reporter guy, and we're in this new world, and I'm only like 14 years old, and I'm wearing only a jacket. Oh, that's my reply. To be honest, I wasn't really thinking about it. Oh yeah, before I forget, the codex. Here's some information on Brinton if you care for it. Brinton is a minor society in Seoul with a strong historical present connections to Gabria and Faradria. a site of several rich mineral deposits. It was previously a Gabrian colony, but independence 120 sol years ago. It also shares a large portion of its border with Ferdia, and a truce has been signed between Gabria and Ferdia concerning the territory. Britain was still a colony at the time. Although Britain shares the technological advancement of its mother country, it does not share in prosperity, and is economically weak by comparison. The Breton people are a hard-working and closely knit group, and tend to describe themselves metaphorically as ants. You know, if I was going to be described as a bug, I'd choose a more okay, not an ant. You know what I'm saying? If I was going to be a bug, it wouldn't be an ant. Maybe a praying mantis. Here's just some information about the planet Sol. Many species of fish are poisonous. Avoid seafood. Great. I generally do that. To be honest, I wasn't really thinking about anything. Now look at this fire hydrant. Yes. Yeah, I will. Sorry. It's just, well, I'm still finding it a bit hard to wrap my head around the idea of destructive conflict. You know, I can understand winter. I think destructive conflict is a waste of time, really. Nothing gets done. Oh yeah, when Cyrus says there's not many examples of conflict, Winter and Cyrus pretty much live in a futuristic world where hardly anything criminal happens because they're so technologically advanced that there really isn't a way for criminals to do crime. And I'm pretty sure they have a really rigid security system where Winter is from. War. What is war? War is an excuse, if you ask me. Conflict. That's another thing I don't like. Oh man, I'm completely ignoring Cyrus right now. Winter's one of those, what do you call them? You know, the person that follows you around, you're their okay. Winter is the mentee, and she's being a very disrespectful mentee right now. It was. Tell me what you think. Perhaps it was time to admit that I didn't spend as much of last night reading the material so much as turning the pages and glancing at them. You know, Cyrus, I can relate to that. Like, whenever our teacher at the school I go to, we have a we have an AP US government teacher, and I call him Mr. K for the sake of keeping himself, you know, anonymous. Well, Mr. K loves to assign us chapters to read, but I hardly ever read them, honestly, and he would give us a quiz the very next class on the chapter, and I wouldn't do as well as the other kids because I don't read the chapters. I pretty much just turn the pages and look at them. That's my 2 cents on that subject. I was tired and honestly found watching the bubbles in my soda significantly more captivating than words in those flies. You know, I've reached a point where soda isn't a good beverage anymore. Like soda, and it's you never really think about how harmful things are until you're older. Like soda, the amount of calories, sugar, and carbonated water can really affect your system. So I'm gonna try and stay away from soda. I'm not talking total withdrawal, but lessen my intake. Like I haven't had a soda in like a few days, which is like an all-time record for me at this point. The way they merge with each other and crawl up the glass is really incredibly pretty. And as you can see, Winter is a dunce, or at least that comment was duncy. Britain is poor. The Britain of today isn't that poor, I believe. It's not as a superpower as the US is, but it's not poor either. Sorry. Um, what I think is, stop lying, Winter. You know you don't think about anything. I think nothing. Look, what I've learned so far in class doesn't seem to be particularly applicable to this world, so I'm finding it a bit difficult to care. I think that's the problem with public education at this point. They teach us a lot of things. I mean, don't get me wrong, education is gonna get you places. But the problem is that even though they teach you, they don't, like, they make it hard for you to use what you've been taught. For say right now in calculus, we're going through what is it? Rates of related rates and implicit differentiation. Like, I know it's gonna be useful at some point, but as of right now, it's a completely useless subject that is taking up a lot of our time. Like, it's probably gonna be useful later on, but as of right now, I don't see a use for it. How can I care anyway? Besides all that, this is all so disconnected from me. Plus, it's only my second world, for heaven's sake. I'm still flummoxed by the fact that other worlds exist. You know, if I was in Winter's position and someone told me there were multiple worlds, you know, I'd give it the same afterthought as I would, let's say, a group of, what is that? A group of ducks crossing the road. You know, you think about it for a second, then you keep driving. That's what I'd think about if someone told me we live in a multi-dimensional universe. What am I supposed to think when they just toss me into these places, give me a pat on the back and say, be on your way, married child? Actually, here's a thought. What kind of name is Britain? Dang. I don't know. That's a stupid name for a country. It sounds more like a town. The town of Britain. Population 40. Blah. I'll scream blah at Cyrus and any other mentor who questions me like this. I mean, I won't, but I would. I completely, totally, and so would. For now, though, an awkward and wobbling smile is all I can muster. Blah. I don't know. Do any of you people heard of the Monogatari series? Well, if you haven't, it's basically a bunch of shorts, anime shorts, story about some character, and right now the current character is very how do I describe her? She's the type of person that avoids problems by ignoring them. Just like how Winter is right now, smiling instead of answering the question. It's pretty much all she does in Monogatari. And of course, Cyrus doesn't say anything back because, you know, he's that super cool adult character with the trench coat. Whatever. That's his reply. Of course, me, I'm still stumped. The next step. Alright, cool it, Winter. Just remain calm and genuinely consider the question. The next thing to do, we need to learn things that were given. That is true. Right. Sir, I couldn't ask my last mentor, why are the doziers we get before we come to these places so thin? Well, it's because they are simply comprised of first-hand information, noteworthy things that mediators have gathered through observation and gleaned from prior trips to the world. You're lucky you even have that much. Sometimes you get sent to worlds that have never even been visited. Let me tell you, it's never fun when a surprise dragon flies out from behind a mountain, or when you realize that a person you've been talking to is really just a convincing projection, or worse, a robot. Oh, Cyrus. And once you start going into systems that threaten your definition of what being a world even means, good luck. You see, Cyrus has experience with these things. You can tell by the stubble on his chin and his slightly faded sideburns that he's been through stuff. He's an edgy guy. Then again, only experienced mediators have to deal with such things. You won't be going to any unvisited worlds. At least, definitely not yet. You know, Dysfunctional Systems only has this episode 1 out. I really enjoyed playing it. I can't wait till they release episode 2. Uh, well, let's continue. Oh, another question. Why revisit worlds that have been held? I mean, once order's in place, everything should be fine, right? I mean... Cyrus frowns, but his expression seems more complicated than that. I say that because his frown isn't alone. In his eyes there's a glint of irritation, directed at no one in particular. Oh, excuse me, it's... What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. I don't know why I'm tired at 7 o'clock. I don't know. Blame it on insomnia. As any glint, it's gone in a second, replaced by another thing that it can't quite decipher. Part of me is curious as to what it is, but most of me doesn't care. Here's the short answer. Because chaos cannot be contained or removed, although it can be lessened by us, it will rise again over time. And that, my friend, is the law of entropy. Sir, are you saying there's no point to anything? Well, that was a quick jump to conclusions by our friend Winter. No, Winter, we're not saying nihilism is the way. We're not. No. Chaos is not inherently bad, Winter. It is the means by which all worlds are born and continue, even ours. Furthermore, it is the spark of evolution that plays a key part in those mutations which allow life to grow and improve itself. However, for life to succeed, there must also be order. It's like, well, it's like how cells must work together and organs must serve their purpose. You see, a system where chaos is stronger than order is likely to collapse, just like an organism which has succumbed to disease. I've been yawning way too much. Is likely to die. In short, we're not here to eradicate chaos, Winter. We're only here to keep it in check. Oh. Anyway, where do you think we should go next? Well, some place with a lot of information, I suppose. Allow me to get thinking about such a place. Oh, surprise me, I'm done. The answer is so obvious, it's insulting. After all, I had already gone there during my first mediation. The library. I like how she puts her hands on her hips, an affirmation, even though she's dead wrong in this case. No, that's not. Why would we go to the library? I mean, I get your line of thought. Libraries can tell you a lot about a world's history, and I would bet there are computers there too, considering the world we're in. Unfortunately, that kind of knowledge probably wouldn't be so helpful for this job. What about scholarly journals, reliable sources? I'm sorry, Winter, but the MLA format and the whole IB criteria does not fall into this. I'm sorry. You do not need a works cited page. No, I think we should find a bar. I looked a smile on Cyrus's face when he said that. He's like, we're going to a bar. Huh? What is it? Well, I just had a thought. Are bars here special, like library bars? I think she means Starbucks, guys. I figured maybe you like a drink as you read, maybe. Okay, that doesn't even make sense. Why would you drink and read at the same time? Winter, stop thinking about libraries. Sorry. Better be sorry. Bars here should be normal as far as I'm aware. We head there because bars are where people go to talk. Cyrus then turns to walk away as if it is the natural thing to do. Well, it is not. I stand incredulously for 3 full seconds before realizing that we're supposed to move ahead. So we're walking along. One thing I didn't notice, my first time playing through this particular scene right here, is that the background loops on itself. Like, I did not catch that. You'll see that light post behind Cyrus again momentarily. Well, here we are, walking along. Is this the street? I've seen a few vehicles pass us by, so I guess it is. Or should I say that I've heard them, for they have been loud. They're pretty sorry excuses for transportation though. They have these grotesque metal protrusions out of their fronts which build dark smoke and occasionally drip liquid. And as if that weren't bad enough, most every frame of these things has looked like a Blungian team went wild on it. I don't know what a Blungian team on it, so that reference just flies right over me. They were such bewildering things that they distract me from the matter at hand. Cyrus. Is he not going to elaborate at all? He just walked off after telling me that people talk at bars. Thanks, Cyrus. I would have not guessed that people talk at places. Isn't he supposed to be teaching me? How can I learn anything from such vague statements? Well, Winter. Well, you need to go to the ice cream parlor, Winter, because they sell food, Winter. Well. Goodness, how annoying. And hasn't he been annoying since orientation, pestering me and staring at me? An annoying, unlikable person. This Cyrus. With a reputation at that, I hear. I mean, seriously, don't people talk everywhere? Sir, don't people talk everywhere? Is it that sort of thing humans are known for? No, humans are known for breaking things. Just take a look at the environment, Winter. Well, aren't you snippy? Oh crap, I just ruined it, didn't I? I need to stop thinking so much or I'll let my thoughts slip out. Arg, I shouldn't have said it like that. He's my superior. I bet he'll lower my grade now. Sorry, sir. I didn't mean to be. It's just a bit frustrating when you don't explain yourself properly. Oh, I thought it was mostly self-explanatory. Not really. Not at all. Well, maybe it is, but I don't really know anything about bars. I've never even seen the outside of one. Ah, that's right, we're really not into drinking back at home, are we? I don't know if I would say that. Perhaps not everyone is the same. Well, bars are generally a place where people go to unwind. And the alcohol loosens their lips, so to speak. They'll talk about almost anything, themselves, their troubles, and often the root of the problem will involve what is troubling the world's people. It is a useful place to visit. Speaking of problems, what was the issue of the last world you visited? Pollution. Great, it's the same as this one. The world was a kind of oldish and much less practical than ours. They kept throwing out their stuff wrong and bad ways of making energy. Their water ended up getting poisoned and a lot of them were sick. Long-term project, I assume. Yeah, my mentor already had been working on it for a while before I came. I think it was around 5 months. That's so. I'm glad I was assigned short-term projects. be something awful to get stuck with the same problem for nearly a year. I agree, but I don't know about the way you said that. How long did you shadow her? 3 days. I see. You've never had alcohol, have you? Oh, hey, Mega Milk. What? No, sir, I would never. I mean, I'm too young. I stop in my tracks, and he stops to turn. His lips then curl up in a kind of oh ho ho expression, oh ho hoing in my innocence, ripe to be defiled. Oh, that is quite the statement there. It is creepy. I am uncomfortable. No, you wouldn't do anything against the rules, would you? Is that a test? A trick? A challenge? No, sir, I wouldn't. He smiles, his smile broadens at this, and my discomfort increases. You know, Winter. Each world you visit will have its own laws, its own customs, and its own social graces. You're going to have to learn to make your mind a little more flexible if you want to succeed. I'm going to have you drink some alcohol at the bar. Excuse me? I don't want to. Besides, I'm underage. It's against the law. Well, Winter, in many cultures you'll be expected to drink even at your current age. You should be ready for that, and you should know the effects alcohol has on yourself and others. What? He's telling me to break the law. Whoa, no, that is completely out of my comfort zone. I probably hate alcohol even. Right, I do not want to do this. I mean, I know we're in another world, so it's not really the law, but... No, this is my conviction. I was born and raised to a set of rules, and I think it would be best to live by them. It is like what I learned in class. One might think it's best to try absorbing all aspects of culture's met. However, it is not advisable. In absorbing a culture, you run the risk of becoming absorbed by that culture as well. Mediators should not forget who they are. I am Winter Harrison. I will not be shaken by this. I don't think I can do that, sir. Winter. That's an order. This is part of your training. If you do not drink alcohol at the bar, I will be forced to fail you. Dane. He dropped the F-bomb on her. I wonder what she's gonna do. Of course I know what she's gonna do. Why? That isn't... She's getting ready to explode, guys. That's not allowed. You can't make me do anything. I most certainly can. I'm your mentor. Only for today. Only for today. You're not always going to be that. Besides, you can't threaten me because I have my convictions and I won't forget who I am. Alright, I can tell I'm right because my cheeks are flushed, my heart is pounding, and he looks wounded. I hurt him, I struck out against him, he knows he's wrong. It's just it isn't enough that he's hurting inside though. I need to teach him a lesson, I need to knock it into him. Therefore I will raise this trembling arm and trembling fist, I will raise it and grit my teeth, and I'll punch him right in his pathetic looking chest. Pow. Ha. What? Look at that face. Winter, what is this? I am rebelling against you. Did you just punch me? I nod my head quickly and with purpose. You did. What does this look like? My fist is smashed into your ribs, didn't it? Whoa, smashed is... All of a sudden, my hair goes paf as if something heavy has lightly fallen on it. I glance up to find Cyrus resting his hand on my head. Although I know what he is doing, in fact, I just said so, I still am compelled to ask, what are you doing? Winter, fine, I won't force you to drink. You mean you can't? I mean I won't. I will, however, put a stern suggestion. It would be very wise of you to drink. It will help you ease you into the taste of another place. I know that they've taught you, and I'd be lying if I said I ignored what I've learned. Just remember that the way it's worded, you're allowed to let yourself go a little. Just don't forget. I haven't forgotten, and neither have you, it seems. But you shouldn't be afraid of stepping outside yourself, if only for a little while. And in a sense, that's what you're doing already in being here. So I urge you, Winter, have a pint. Alright, I think that's a good place. Let's save. We'll put it under number 3. Let's override it. Alright guys, I think that was pretty good. Um, expect me to finish Dysfunctional Systems episode 1 this week. I figured it'd take me at least 4 episodes, so a daily release should about cover that. Thank you for watching, and I should be back to regularly scheduled Fate Extra uploads. So thank you for watching.